This ranch has been in our family since 1907. I'm fifth generation rancher. My siblings and I are fifth generation. It's been located here in Kit Carson, eastern Colorado since the inception.
Well, 30 years ago, I was able to go to an Allen Savory seminar, a week-long seminar that introduced me to the concept of holistic resource management. So about 25 years ago, we started implementing that. You can't just worry about the cattle if the family aren't making the deal work. You can't just worry about the grass if the cattle and the people aren't working. I mean, it's got to be looked at it as a whole. And we think everything benefits when it's all in sync.
You know, Drought's not new to ranching by any means, and it's not new to eastern Colorado or our family, but it's definitely been the main driving force for the last 15 years. And this drought, I'd say, was more unique than others, that it was very severe in its depths, which the last 4 years it's really been severe. With the NRCS and the Conservation Stewardship Program, we've developed a grass monitoring system that we're pretty rely heavily on.
I think the average pasture was 1,500 acres, and now the average pasture is more like 300 acres. A given piece of ground would have cattle eating on it 180 days a year, half the year. Now a given piece of ground would have cattle eating on it less than 10% of that, maybe 10 to 20 days a year. We think there's tremendous benefits to the natural resource, wildlife, and our cattle by doing that. Now we have turkey, which we did not. The quail are more abundant. There's larger numbers of deer. We do see a lot more wildlife on the range. We're in one of the cell centers. It's kind of a wagon wheel design, so out from the tank will radiate, up to 8 pastures will be serviced by one tank in the center. It makes it very easy to move cattle from one pasture to the next. We just throw open a gate to make the move. I think conservation is a cornerstone to this successful operation. The wildlife benefit greatly for this water that's spread out more evenly around the place now. The grasses are better because of all the rest they're receiving by us keeping the cattle away from the grass 95% of the year.
I think all humans need a purpose, and I feel really happy that my children have that. Of course, as a mother, and all mothers are, you know, I'm so proud of my children, and I know that a lot of who they are and what they are is a result of how they were raised and being a part of this family. And their 5th generation and the 4 generations preceding them, they have a tie to.
As soon as we were old enough to be able to do something, we did that something to help out.
We have 4 kids that are all actively involved in the ranch. We're expanding our ranch dramatically. They're excited about the future. We're excited about the future.
From a young age, we're working as a family, and that is unique and special, and it has its own hardships, but also its own rewards. And then I think Mom and Dad have done a very good job, unlike a lot of agricultural families, of making room for us from a decision-making standpoint. You know, we're not just grunts doing fence projects, we're actually helping to make real decisions on the ranch.
You know, they wear multiple hats. I think of them as mom, dad, boss, co-worker, mentor, role model, coach. So I think they just wear multiple hats, and they, you know, fill those roles appropriately. And cowboy hats too, occasionally, even that hat.
By being able to integrate, you know, both our family life and the ranch, both sides of it really benefited from the other. You know, we've become closer as a family, and our ranch has operated better.
There's a lot of examples of us standing on the shoulders of the real experts in the field, one being Aldo Leopold. You know, he was the father of modern conservation, and we think we've benefited from that. Then we have a neighbor, Dale Lassiter. The Lassiter family have always kind of been survival of the fittest, work with nature, not against nature. So we kind of manage our cattle in that method, survival of the fittest. We try to do it in a natural way. We want to calve when the deer and the antelope are calving. We want to work with nature, not against nature. Then we have these 4 ambitious, bright kids now that are involved. 3 of the 4 will be married within a week of today's date. So, I mean, we just keep adding people to the piece of the pie. And I mean, they're smart, innovative people. And so I just think the future's bright for the operation. I just think we'll do a better job of managing the cattle, the natural resources of the people. And I think it just keeps getting better and better.